Hello, I'd like to introduce some of your principles for Module 2. Module 2's primary concern is how to help people learn through design. Design has multiple purposes, and in this case, these principles have been put aside because of their primary ability to help prepare, prime, teach, and help you remember. So even though we will be doing things like designing a public service announcement poster, we'll be designing a mnemonic device that could be used as a logo design, these can also be used to help you remember material. So if you utilize any of these principles in your other classes, it should help you to retain information better. So let's start with just a couple, just a list of a couple of the terms that you guys will be dealing with. Accessibility. Accessibility is really important because accessibility helps your audience whether or not they have disabilities or not. So if we design with all people in mind, then our designs help all. So accessibility is a really important principle. Biophilia effect, this one's really fascinating. I think you guys will like this one. Biophilia effect is a calming sort of effect. Hospitals are really are common venues for biophilia effect. It brings a calm, meditative state, which enables people to take in information better. Cathedral effect is kind of a good one to think in relationship to biophilia. Cathedral is a space, generally speaking it has to do with space, that affects your mindset. So if biophilia effect creates an environment that's calm, cathedral effect creates invigorating and creative thinking. So if you are in a space with high ceilings, a lot of light, this cathedral effect can affect your mindset. It can create an environment that's better for thinking creatively. Not necessarily for fact-based work, for memory. Conditioning, you guys can look up Skinner. Exposure effect, that one's pretty easy, but basically states that the more you're exposed to a concept, the more apt you are to like it. Forgiveness, this is very good in terms of design because it allows for mistakes and it acknowledges for the viewer and the audience that they will not always get it right. So good design has a lot of forgiveness designed into the program, the design, or the interaction or the interface. Immersion, this is probably, I think, the best example of immersion and teaching is actually video games, because video games immerse you into an environment that you almost feel. So that's the key to immersion, is that you're dealing with more than one sense. You're dealing with sight, you're dealing with movement, kinetics, and you're also dealing often with touch and smell. The inverted pyramid, you guys can look this one up. It has to do with how we organize information. Mental model. This is a very important principle and one that students often misunderstand. Your mental model is the model that you bring to everything. So if you have a mental model, let's go back to video games, of video games, then you have this understanding with how they work. So if you come across a program that has the same mapping as a video game, then you have come to that new program with some understanding. But for instance, I am not a video game player. If I pick up a program that's based on a video game, I lack that mental model for understanding how to interact. So your mental model is sort of the baggage you bring to design. Okay. Mnemonic device. This is the one that I want to concentrate on today. Mnemonic device is also one of our assignments, so I thought I would show you a real-world application to this principle. So let's go ahead and in the next discussion, I'm going to take you through all of the ways that you can create a logo with mnemonic device.